Hey guys, Moms Against Medical Bullying. I know I look kind of blue. It's just the lighting. I'm by the window. So anyways, I'm reading Carl Miller again, and I wanted to talk about getting drug tested, but not what he talks about here is getting drug tested, but I feel that the same thing would apply to getting tested for COVID at work, for submitting to this invasive testing at work, right? Holy moly. Let me find my spot here. Okay. So just replace the word drug testing with COVID testing, and I think it's the same exact thing. So I'm going to read what he wrote here, or what he said. You read your Constitution and you learn your Constitution, and you quote your Constitution chapter and verse, frontwards, backwards, and upside down. All right, Carl Miller was a genius. I hope one day that I could read the Constitution upwards, backwards, and inside out. When people come up to you and say, we want you to take a drug test or COVID test, let's just put that in there, that's part of your job, you tell them, go fish. I'm not taking a drug test or biological test, let's put it that way. I'm not required to prove a negative. You're required to prove a positive. If you think I'm doing something negligent, fine. You go file papers and you take necessary precautions and what have you, and we will go to court. But I'm not going to be convicted before the fact, and then I got to provide evidence that I'm not guilty. That's the cart before the horse. That's back ass words. I'm not going to do that. Not only that, the Fifth Amendment says that I have the right not to be a participant in a compulsory process that's going to make an incriminating situation for me. Now, I have nothing to hide, and I'm not even arguing from what I got to hide. I'm arguing from the fact that the right stands and I'm exercising it. Then I usually ask some simple questions. Well, if they find anything, will I get fired? Well, yes, you're going to be penalized. So there are penalties. And if they find anything, will I be criminally prosecuted? Could be. So why would I want to do something stupid like that? This guy comes up to me the last convention we had, and they wanted to take a test as to whether I've got any drugs in my system. I said, first of all, what's in my system is between me and my doctor and none of your business. I said, I don't take drugs and I don't have anything to hide, but I'm not going to voluntarily enter into anything. What if your guy screws up and say I have drugs? Or let's say with this biological COVID test, what if your test screws up and says that you have something that you don't have? Now I can't get a job ever. Okay, or in this case, they'd boot you out of your job and say you can't work for a couple of weeks or something like that. You know, they will try to furthermore control your life. Are you kidding me? Is this some new hobby you just took up? I'm not going to play that game. It's funny because I'm reading the way he talks. So it's not my burden to prove a negative. It is your burden to prove a positive. If you have a just claim for which relief can be granted, you go file your papers and we'll sit down and talk. But until such a time, you can go fish. I'm not going to play. I'm not required to play. And if you fire me for the exercise of my constitutional right, I'm going to tell you about Miller versus United States 230. F486 at 489. I don't know what all that means, guys. Which says, the claim and exercise of a constitutional right shall not be converted into a crime. You're doing that, and you're punishing me, and if you fire me for it, I will sue your socks off and attach everything you own, bank, business, and home. End of quote, Carl Miller. So I just wanted to read that because I've seen a lot online about people being forced to be tested, like, obsessively. So I thought, there has to be a constitutional argument for that so that people can stand up for themselves. And I would think it's an invasion of privacy too. Like, But anyways, I just wanted to share that.